Hey guys, this is David with Savvy Organics Farm. Hope you're having a great day. And it's early summer, and there's a lot going on here at the farm. We've had so many things going on with business and work and some family health problems and stuff, but thought today I would take a few minutes and take you guys with me on some of the chores and maybe give you an update on some of the things that have been going on here, both with livestock, the animals, fencing, gardens, and just kind of show you where we are these days. So follow us along and let's see what happens. Not sure you can see this beautiful rooster here. We keep them separated from the hens. There's the red one, and got this one here, this white one. And look, absolutely beautiful and very noisy, but they are destined for freezer camp. So we'll end up making some broth or something good out of those guys eventually. And you may recall over the winter months we used did several videos on this. We were doing the 5 buckets with soaking the chicken feed in those. And once the weather got hot, it was really just drawing too many bugs and flies and those kinds of things. So I have switched, and I'm just doing 1 bucket at a time during the summer, because one day in this heat is more than enough. But the soaked feed in a single bucket, see if I could open that up for you. So we've just got a couple scoops in there with some water. You can see it kind of bubbling just overnight. But they really enjoy that and get a lot of nutrients out of there, and the fermentation process helps it be more digestible. So it's one of the changes here in early summer, changing from these stacked buckets that drain one to the other and using those in cooler weather to a single bucket that ferments literally overnight. We also have a new set of chicks. We're raising another set. These were 40, now there's 39. We've only lost one, and we've had them for a couple of weeks now. But got all different kinds of these chicks here in the chicken brooder, and they're doing really well. So put their food and water over here on that side, and I think they're trying to stay away from the heat lamp. It's a little clean on the 70s at night, so we've left that heat lamp on for them, but they can certainly get away from it if they're too hot. So soon enough, those guys will be going out to one of the chicken tractors and finish raising them in the field. So one of our favorite other YouTubers, Al Lumna, and a few others have started using this poly braided electric fence line for keeping livestock and things in where they want them. I am finding that this is so much easier to work with than the old-fashioned wire, and it's doing a really good job of keeping even the large animals, the horse and the donkey, which I don't know if you guys can see them over there. They're in here waiting to be fed. But it's doing a much better job of keeping everybody in place, and we'll work on sheep and cattle and horses apparently, and donkeys, all those kind of things. So I've made a change. Let me show you that. So in the past we have used just a traditional fence charger to electrify the fence, and over time we're just between cattle and horses and other livestock, they have oftentimes either not been able to see the electric wire that runs all the way around our property here, or it would break or get damaged and they would get tangled up in it. So quite a few times we've had to get some animals detangled from the electric fence wire, and so far luckily no serious injuries, a few cuts, but so we have changed it to a different system. So what I've changed it to is a solar charger, and solar charger has been working just awesome. I've put in a gate right here so we can drive through if we need to, and our beehives are way out there. So if we need to drive out there or haul anything, we can get through there. But if you can see down that line, I've got the poly wire installed, and it's so much easier to work with and so much better to tie things together and put it up neatly, and it's also easy to reconfigure. So right now, this one simply runs straight across the pasture all the way to our fence to keep the horse and the donkey on that side. And over here on this side right now, we have our chicken tractors running. We've got that one right there, and then those chicks we talked about, we're in one right up there. So we've got all of this area that we can move them so that they can continue to be pasture raised out here on the grass and happily eat bugs and do some insect control. So one of the other things I've done is, because we have chickens in so many different spots and different coops, what I was doing was just becoming very inefficient. So I'm trying to make it more efficient, and hopefully I'll continue to improve on that. But you know, if we have one set of chickens out here in this chicken tractor, and we have another set out there in that one, and then we'll walk out there in a minute, I'll show you those guys. But in the far pasture over there, that's where some of our other ones are. And so taking feed and stuff to them and whatever they need every day, it was just, you know, constantly walking back and forth between all of these. Had I originally thought this out better, because our barn is right here behind us, I would have put all of this in a better position so it would be more efficient and less walking. But hindsight being 2020, what I've decided to do is start using this cart to haul everything I need for the chickens all in one line, one time, and get it from one place to the other. So let's get them fed and see what's going on. So you can see right here, this is where the chicken, we call it the Gary coop, where the Gary coop was located. It stayed there a little bit too long just because we've had so much rain, typically at night, that it's been impossible to get that thing moved. It takes my truck to pull it and don't want to get stuck. So just moved them. Those guys are over there. They were here. Next time we'll turn that coop around and come back up the other side of the pasture, always trying to keep them on fresh ground. So you can see how efficient it is when you have to make multiple trips to go from this coop to that coop and back to everything that's stored in the barn, and then all the way out to that flock of birds that's out there. So for right now, what's helping is using this cart, putting everything in that I need, and hauling it past each one of these pens and just getting it all done in one pass. So we're gonna check on these guys, and looks like they are fat, dumb, and happy, but I'm gonna get them fed and gather their eggs. So we did a video on this not too long ago, but just to give you an update on how well it's working. We have put out this pet lodge water, and it is connected by this black hose. It goes all the way over to our rain catchment system. So we've got these agricultural water lines. They come out to all of the chicken areas. We've got shut-off valves so we can turn it off if we need to, but it stays on and keeps them with some water all day long. And the other thing that we do for the water is we just add a splash of apple cider vinegar in that each time we clean that out every day or two. Just add a splash of that in their water to keep these guys healthy. But they don't look like they're suffering any. So yeah, just want to mention that water system again. You could do it on a water hose or whatever you might have, but if you can do a rain catchment system and get your own, use the rainwater, it saves money by using that, and it's healthier for the birds. So talking about that fence, that new poly line that I put up that goes up there from the corner of the barn all the way across our field, one of the reasons I'm doing that is this cross fence right here is the cross fence between the market garden, greenhouse, and all the stuff we grow, and where the chickens are preparing the ground out there for the next season, and it separates it. But this fence, this cross fence, is going to come down. It's going to go away, and whenever we need it, we can just put a poly line across there. So we'll put those cattle panels and all those other materials to use in other ways and open this up. But right now, it's going to go through that gate to the other chickens. So you can see even out here in this one, we've got another one of those waters right here, and it goes with an irrigation line again all the way back up there to the rain catchment system and keeps them in fresh water all the time. So you can see all these birds out here that provide the bulk of our eggs, and these guys are doing really well. Let me get some feed put out for them. Keep them happy. All right, chicks, you guys know it's feeding time. Come on, let me get it. Just spread that out on a line across there. That's the soaked feed, and inside their chicken tractor we've got a thing in there that we keep their dry grain in, so I'm gonna go fill that up and then we'll get their eggs. Oh look, my beautiful assistant decided to come home. How are you doing?
Alright.
Good. I was just doing an update, seeing what's going on. What do you think? All these
I was thinking we should put some
tomatillo plants look good.
Yeah, they do. I'm wondering if we don't need to put like a pepper page in.
Yeah, I know a lot of people do that. So, and then
Little squash.
those little cucumbers are coming up and doing good. The squash plants, we got a couple of squash coming on. They look really good. Nice. So still growing some purple top turnips. And then we have some experimental escarole and endive that has totally bolted. I know it's way too hot for it now.
Wow, look
So
at
that
those.
used to be-
Those are awesome.
Yeah, let's go look at those seed heads. I can do it without getting drenched. We've had so much rain, all these rows between are very wet. Look at these. These seed heads are pretty cool. I'm assuming that they will flower. I'm gonna just leave them here, I guess, until they flower, just for learning. Crazy, huh?
Weird looking. Crazy.
And then over here we have our first row. Right over there I have our first row of zucchinis and squash that have been a constant battle with the squash bugs, and they're still not doing very well. I think I've replanted those like 4 times.
Oh, that's insanity right there.
It is. Definition of insanity. And our mulch guys are still bringing plenty of mulch. Just need more time.
Smells like cedar over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of cedar in that.
Because of all the storms.
Lots of storms, yeah. But
Let's run to a tornado watch.
we are. You called on your way home and let me know we have a tornado watch. But
The bird doesn't.
the birds don't think so.
I didn't think so.
Sky, I can see some storm clouds way off in the distance, but it doesn't look too bad. At least right here right now. The carrots are still growing. I pulled a couple of small ones the other day right over there. And they're still growing, still look pretty good. I tasted that little one and still tastes all right, but I'll have to wait and see how it goes. Potatoes, on the other hand, potato bugs decimated them. I dug up 2 little spots of them a few days and got like 4 little small tomatoes. But the ones I didn't dig up are trying to sprout again in the heat. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know whether to dig them up and see what we get, but again, they are
Those are
covered
the eggs
with
of
the-
those
yeah,
Colorado potato beetle.
the Colorado potato beetles.
Those are the eggs right
Scrape
there.
those things off. Let's see if we can let these keep going. But
That is just crazy.
yeah, for the most part, we've just had a lot of trouble with those this year.
We've never seen them before.
And got a lot of empty beds here that we're gonna replant with something.
Don't know what.
And over here, we have lots of different peppers. There's one, the storms have completely broken another one off. We've got a bunch of them have the tomato support cages on them, but we are about 20 shy of having enough, so we gotta get some more. But you can see the beautiful peppers growing on these plants. These are Italian bells.
This is a beautiful.
Yep, there's lots of beautiful weeds. We have to keep working on those. And down here we have some really nice jalapenos. Plants look great. And these are all F1 hybrid jalapenos. And some of those guys are getting gigantic. Those are the healthiest plants we have. And then on our tomatoes this year, we're growing them a little bit differently than we've ever done before. We've put up these cattle panels, fence panels, and are using these vine clips to clip the potatoes to this and keep them trellised up on it. And so far, these plants are looking really, really nice. We've got some tomatoes coming on. Have to look at our spreadsheet and our plan to figure out which ones are on each one of these rows. Got a few more that need to be clipped up and tied, but in general they're looking great. This red cardinal basil doing very well. English thyme doing really pretty good. A little yellowing, maybe a little bit too much rain getting those guys yellow, but this trellis system is working out really well so far. We'll find out. Hopefully it will continue to work, and we'll let you know if we find any detriments to it, but so far so good. Just got to keep them pruned and the long vines clipped to these cattle panels. Let's go see what's going on with these fruit trees. How are the fruit trees doing? Red, green, and yellow apples.
Curling leaves.
Some curling leaves. Which one is that? Which
green apple?
That's the green one. Yeah. Yeah. This one has kind of had a struggle. You've got some of these leaves that don't look good on the ends.
Look at that.
And
It's
that
a
might be the
bagworm.
Bagworm right there. That might be what's sucking the life out of that piece. Maybe the same thing here. This is another bagworm looking thing with some stuff going on. We need to clean that up.
Look.
Yep. I'm gonna keep an eye on these guys pretty close.
Need some more sea mist over here.
Yeah, it's time to sea mist them again. Hey, did you see your little apple? Oh, there's more of these little bagworms on this one.
Like little Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, there's one right here. You just need to pull these off and crush them.
I'd rather just take them in the house.
And we have, this is going to be the yellow apple. And we pulled all the apples off, but we had to leave one on here just to see what happens. But so far, that little guy looks really good.
It's the pollinating tree. It's a universal pollinator, this one.
Oh, good.
For those two. That's the red, that's the green.
So red, yellow, and green, just like a stoplight. Got them supported.
Weird.
We did a video not too long ago. We had again so much rain that we put this trench in next to them to help drain off the excess water until we can improve the grading and drainage out here. So far, it's keeping the base of these trees much drier than it was.
But we have a thunderstorm every night. It's a thorn.
A thorn?
Look at that.
Yuck. Some kind of bug damage.
I don't know. I'm going to go look it up in my book.
Okay. So have fennel growing right there. Got some more peppers and some cherry tomatoes of 3 different kinds. And we've had a really good luck so far this year with the bush beans. The bush beans have done pretty well. Not sure if it's the heat or what's doing it, if it's just past time for them, but the plants are starting to yellow and not look very good.
They've had. They've been
Yeah,
just
it may be too much water.
drenched.
And then
Pole beans.
the pole beans, on the other hand, have not done very well for us this year. Got a few plants that are climbing and doing good, and the rest of them not so much, despite fertilizing and trying to get them going. Sunflowers are up. They look good. Experimental wheat. And it's way past time for it. It should have been in cooler weather, but they're still growing. And then what are those called?
Chamomile.
Chamomile. Really pretty flowers on there. She's going to try to make some tea with that. And over in the greenhouse, we have those tomatoes that we put in. We had 42, I think, of the hybrid tomatoes. And so we've used the same clips on these, on the sides of the greenhouse, to clip them and then run them up a string. So they're trellising up strings in here on that. And then the one down the middle is just like the ones in the field. They're being clipped and tied to the cattle panel here in the middle. But so far, all these tomato plants on the inside are looking pretty good. And some that are big enough now, they need to be staked up as soon as I get a chance to do it. We have our first attempt at growing some flowers for cut flowers. And look at that. That is beautiful.
Pretty little.
You know what that one is?
Nope. No, anything is.
Do you know what
It's
these
mixed.
pretty pink ones are?
Cosmos, I think.
Cosmos. And then there's
I don't know.
a white cosmos, same leaf, different color flower.
Yeah.
Oh,
All the other
zinnias are
zinnias.
coming up.
Look at this. What
I know,
the
I
heck?
pulled it up the other day. Yellows. They're pretty. Just not quite enough of them yet this year. Yeah, it's all about preparing the soil and trying to improve the soil here. Raspberries in this bed haven't done much this year, but they're still growing well.
First year down there.
Yeah, it's their first year.
These
They're
are
still growing.
loganberries.
Loganberries.
The plants are growing. Haven't
Plants are
seen a
growing, but
berry.
nothing on them. Our
See?
blackberries have gone nuts.
Need to go get a bucket
In
for them.
the other kitchen garden we put, I don't know, we've harvested several pounds of them and they made jam out of it.
No jelly.
Sorry, jelly. She's correcting me. I still get that wrong. And then the boysenberries, very prolific. This was their first year and they've just gone crazy. I think our harvest for these guys is about over, but when we're completely sure, all the vines that produced this year where the berry ends are, we'll cut all those off, take them off, because those vines won't produce again. And then all the new vines will get trellised up on the fence.